G'day YouTube, my name's Lance and welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well look, this video is it's a Banggood review. I've done a couple over time. Banggood pick a few of us blokes that have a channel, and from time to time they offer us a bit of stuff to have a look at. And pardon me, I've done a couple in the past, and look, the stuff's been okay. But anyway, they got onto me again, and I've knocked them back a few times. But this last time, they're a little bit persistent. I got someone else to look after me with it all, and I said, well look, I'll have a look and see if I can find anything that'll be of help in the shed here, apart from some electronic gadgets. So what I had a look at was some micrometers, metric micrometers, and I thought, well, you know, they're always handy around the place, and when you're fixing tractors and things like that, it's good to have probably a good setup at the lathe and not so good set up banging around the workshop here. So so I had a look at their site, and I come across a set of micrometers, and it goes from 0 to 150 millimeters. So they had a standard set there, which was just standard steel tips, and they had this set which I chose, and I chose it because it has the carbide tips and carbide ends on it. So I thought, well, that's got to be something that lasts a bit longer. The standard set of micrometers you could buy at Banggood for around $60. I think that was at 60 Australian dollars. And this set here, the carbide tipped ones, was going to be around 190 bucks. And so I thought, well, if I'm going to do this stuff, I'm going to have find something that'll be a bit handy anyway, and not some electronic junk. So anyway, we'll have a quick look at them and go through what we have here and my thoughts on it. Now, there's a few little surprises here, not necessarily good ones, but I'll zoom you in on it and we'll have a bit of a chat about it. Well, this is the set here, and you'll notice this one sticks up a little bit. I hope we haven't gone too green on the camera. We've got a big high bay light above us, but for some reason this 6-inch micrometer, where it sits down in the box there's a little bit of ply come off, and so this one sits there all the time. So when you shut the lid, it does shut, but you can feel it pushing on it. So I looked down here, and I can probably fix that, no worries, no big deal. The box looks fairly good. The hinges here, well, keeps the dust out, but only just. So the box is made, there's no tongue and groove dovetail or joints, or sorry, dovetails or anything like that on it. And when you look down through here, all the woodwork's pretty rough on it. But look, it does the job. I suppose it's cheap enough. But here's a little bit of ply just sitting off the side there. So anyway, I got these into my office, and I thought, okay, let's have a bit of a fiddle and see what we've got. So the first one I picked up was this 125 to 150 mil, and it just starts at 0 here. And I thought, oh well, I'll see how the ratchet works. So I went to wind the ratchet back just to get a feel, and the end screwed off. There it is there. So the tumbler, it's got a little clamp like a collet in there that holds it in. That's still firm, and they have a U-shaped washer, and I imagine we should have a little bevel of like a little bit of a spring in there somewhere, but anyway, can't see anything. And there's a little dome shaped washer. So first one I thought, okay, well, that must have just rattled off. Something's not quite right. And I thought I'd get the 125 millimeter test piece and see if it was zeroed from the factory. Look, just out of interest, they're not hard to zero, but we'll just see. So we open him up here like that, we hold him in. Now see that rocking off when I tighten it up? Just look here. And look, it's set, oh, it's about 1/100th off. But that seems to want to walk away a little bit. So I've got some other micrometer sets here. Actually, these only go up to 100mm, so I may not be able to use them on that, but I thought I would bring these ones in. Now I've set these up, I've used these, I keep these ones for pretty good, and they're not half bad. I haven't got carbide tips on them or anything, but you know, out of the box they were a lot better. So anyway, so that come out on that one, so I thought, oh well, not to worry, we can work with that. I also have a look at the, where are we here? Here, on the handle. So when I find a little lever here, that slops around like a cock in a sock. So I thought, oh, it might be loose on the screw here. Well, it's not. Like the screw's tied into the piece there, it does tighten up well. It's just where it sits in here just slops around. Very poor fit. So anyway, not to worry. So next one, here's the 100 to 125mm one. So once again I thought, oh well, I'll see how the ratchet works. The ratchet comes unscrewed. So that needs Loctiting in. But the other problem with this one is we can hold the spindle here and so that's come loose in transit. So what we would have to do with this is set it up and sit the guide or the test piece in, and when we bring it down here, well yeah, we just have to zero this up and work that out. So look, that's no big deal either. Once again, have a little look at the lever here. It's all over the place. So it's a bit hard to get you to see that properly, but it's quite sloppy. Try and keep it focused if I can. Anyway, so out of the box, that one there needs a lot of work. The ratchets, I'll just unscrew that fully. Thread looks okay. There's your spindle. So we can still put the spanner in and turn this around to line everything up and do that. So look, we can fix it, but look, straight out of the box. Now that doesn't want to bloody go in. Here we go. Yeah, we're in, we're away. Okay. So we've got to work on that one too. Alright, we'll move on to the 75 to 100mm one. And look, the castings look okay. You can actually see the carbide tips on it. No worries at all. Okay, let's look at the ratchet. I'll be shocked if one's not loose. The spindle's tight on that one at least, but it won't be tight for long because with this ratchet coming loose, once again you can see the little collar in there. If I keep it in the frame, you can see the little collar in there, and so we'll have to set that up and once more fix the ratchet. Now, the 50 to 75 millimeter. And funny enough, they do feel nice to use. You know, when you're using them, there's a nice smooth movement and all that. So, lock the spindle. Yep, that's okay. Well, once again, the ratchet comes out, and once again, that's a little thumb lock. Slops around. So that one just needs a little bit of work. The 25 to 50 millimeter ratchet's loose. Funny that. The same movement, we know where to look now, don't we? We lock the thumb screw works okay. This spindle's tight, the thumb wheel's tight, so that's okay. And the 0 to 25 millimeter one, so the spindle's okay. Oh, the ratchet's loose, who'd have thought? And I'll wipe it on my shirt, make sure it's clean, and we'll just see if this one zeroes out. There's just a slight little tight spot in there, just there. That's 0.01. So it needs adjusting. If we just use the ratchet, it's 2. I don't use the ratchets a lot. I seem to have a feel, and I usually set them up. When I set them up for my feel. So that needs adjusting too. So what I'd like to have a look at is this is an old set I had, this is the new one. Okay, so we'll test them. We'll test this with my old micrometer, just check how accurate it is. Put that down there so I don't get any heat into it. Oh, this one's never been set up, I can't have set it up. That's okay, as long as we measure the same. If not, we've got to go looking to see. That's 0.01 away. That's 0.02. So your little test piece there that's supposed to be bang on, it's not within a bull's roar. So we're going to have to work out which one's correct. I'm pretty sure this other set I have over here, it's a better quality set. Look, it's still made in Asia, China, but I've had that for quite some time and it's been pretty good. I've been happy with it. For metric verniers, or metric micrometers I should say, I've got a few different ones. I've even got like NSK and that have never been used. So we would presume that's pretty good. So let's pop the end off here. crank him open to the 75 and see if we can work out which test piece is okay. And see, that's nice and firm, and that doesn't want to unscrew. Bit of Japanese technology. Far firmer within the thumb screw. Okay, we'll take our 75mm once more. I'll just rest him up here. .1, actually 0.1. Bang on. I should have my glasses on here, eh? Yeah, that goes right on. So there you go, the Chinese micrometer sets. So they asked me to do a review, and the review is an honest one, and it's not very acceptable, is it, when you look at it? I was trying to think of something good to say, but there's not a lot of good to say. Now, what am I going to do with it? Well, I'm going to set it up. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to find a set of proven accurate test pieces, and I'm going to set them up right. And what I'll probably do is just keep this set up in the shed. So up in the shed here, things get bumped around a little bit more than they do down in my machine shop. So this here, well, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Probably nothing. But anyway, we'll have a bit of a chat and have a summary. Well, we better have a little bit of a summary of what we think about our micrometer set, our carbide tipped micrometer set. Now, to sum it up, the casting and the tips and all that seem nice. They have a good movement in here, that feels okay, and they've got the carbide tips on them. The castings are nice and smooth. Each one of them, when you turn it here, you can see the knurling on the nut here is crooked, but that may be from them being loose. So if you bought the Banggood set for $60 for 6 micrometers, and you had to do a little bit to get them accurate and get them usable, you probably wouldn't mind so much. But they shouldn't sell shit. I was showing Judy, my wife, about these, and I was showing her the things wrong, and she says, "Oh, how much was that?" And I said, "Well, if you paid $190, you'd certainly be disappointed and you'd be ripped off." Would I suggest anyone buys a set? No. If you buy a set after watching my review, you know what you're getting anyway. You will be able to make them work. They do have carbide tips. You will be able to make them work, but you must know how to set a micrometer up, how to test them, how to set them up, and with these now, they do come with a little spanner and things like that. So when I get time, probably not now, I seem a bit flat strapped at the moment, but I will set each one of these up correctly, and it looks like I've got one to set over here up. Set up too. I've got better quality stuff here that I will rely more heavily on, but the Banggood set here, look, for a toolbox set, if you're a young person getting into machining, you're saving up your pennies, you saw these, you could afford them, you saved up a couple of weeks' wages to get them or whatever you had to do, and you got them, look, you'd really be disappointed. You'd be better to save up a month's wages or 6 months' wages and buy a good set. For an old tractor mechanic like myself, banging around the shed here, fixing old Massey Fergusons and things like that, I'll set them up so I can use them, and they'll be okay. I will get them accurate, and they'll be okay. But look, as bought straight out of the box, the whole thing's a bit disappointing. Not that I expected, I didn't expect a bloody Starrett or anything like that, or a or any of the good names, or the Mitutoyo or anything like that. I knew it was going to be a cheap thing. I didn't have to pay for it, no skin off my nose. But it is an honest review. For a $60 one, if you've got to set it up and all that, well, you can understand, you know, $10 each, a knock around set okay. For $190 is a value there. No, it's not. My recommendation, don't buy them. Easy as that. Or at least if you buy them, hop in and know what you're getting. Watch this, know what you're buying, and some of the quality's okay, but the quality assurance going out the door is just terrible. You know, these little screws here, I'll set them all up, and then you know, it's only a matter of getting the little spanners. Here we go here, getting the little spanners here onto the collet once it's in the right place, and you can lock that thimble in the right place and have it good. And can you see? You can see it wobbling around a bit at the top there. So anyway, look, know what you're buying. If you're going to buy some of this this stuff, know what you're getting. Know what you're spending your money on. If you're a tradesman or a young tradesman looking to gear up, talk to the older blokes in the shop. Buy a bit of quality. Try and buy a good second-hand set rather than a cheap, poor quality set. So that's it. That's what I reckon. That's the Carbide tip micrometers as Lance sees them. We'll catch you later, eh?